Okay, let's take stock a little bit more on round 4 of the Six Nations with a team of the week. This is the best 15 players, one for each jersey between the Six Nations. As I saw it, of course, if you think differently, let me know in the comments. It is all a matter of opinion. It would be boring if we all had the same one, so get stuck in down below. I'm also going to select my top 3 players of the weekend overall at the end, and I'd love to know what you think about that as well. Get stuck in down below. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm going to kick off with the number 1 jersey. And Ellis Genge, I thought was the best loosehead prop of the weekend. Cyril Bay from France was very good, a dominant French scrum. But I'm really pleased that Ellis Genge had such a good game and imposed himself up against one of the best tight head props of the last decade in Tadhg Furlong. I don't think Tadhg Furlong was at his normal level, and that is a context here because, I mean, we remember the Rugby World Cup when Ellis Genge was up against those South Africans. He and Carl Sinclair struggled, to say the least, in the closing stages of a semi-final. I don't think Ellis Genge has been at his best for a while now. This was back to it. This was violence, and that's where Ellis Genge is so fearsome, is when he is loose. The baby rhino, as he was dubbed, and he looked like that with some of his ball carries at the weekend, and his set piece was tidy. Again, the context there, I think, is that Tadhg Furlong maybe wasn't at the level that he has been, but nonetheless, a brilliant performance from Ellis Genge. I thought he was the best of the loosehead props. Tell me if you disagree. To Hooker and George Turner, I talk about violence in the best possible way. That's what I like about George Turner. He is hard, tough as teak, and he put in a lot of work for his Scotland teammates in defeat. It was not through a lack of effort or endeavour from this fella. Tight head prop, Owini Atonio. It's quite handy being 150 kilograms, but Owini Atonio, for best part of an hour, he really put Wales under pressure. And another contender for the tight head prop jersey would have been Georges-Henri Colombe, the replacement for France. But I think Colombe looked fantastic when he came on. Another massive man mountain of a French tight head prop. But the difference is, this guy had already softened Wales up. They were spent out on their feet. And part of the reason that France just let rip in the final quarter of the game is because of the performances of guys like Owini Atonio, just gassing the Welsh players. Into the second row then, George Martin. I was so excited before this game to see the matchup between George Martin and Joe McCarthy, two of the best young locks in world rugby, both 22 years of age, future Lions pair perhaps you feel, and I thought the tussle between the two of them was going to be titanic. The fact George Martin kept Joe McCarthy quiet speaks to what a massive game he had. There was one thundering shot he put in on, I want to say Tadhg Beirne. He can bang, and yeah, I love George Martin. And a massive part of England's win. And alongside him, I've put Tadhg Beirne in defeat. Tadhg Beirne is just like a piece of iron. He's so hard. He got Ireland out of jail in that first half so many times. When you think about the possession and the territory that England had in the first half, Ireland went in at half-time 4 points up because of this guy, almost single-handedly with his turnovers, his breakdown work. He is just relentless. So Maro Itoje was very good. Rutzer for Italy was decent, but I've gone for Beirne. Tell me if you disagree. Into the back row, Ole Chessum looked to me potentially world class. This number 6 jersey, from an England perspective, I thought was going to have a giant gaping hole in it without Courtney Lawes. And yes, Courtney Lawes, love the man. Ole Chessum has given an indication that he can be a serious weapon for England. He looked liberated by just that extra bit of freedom. He can put himself about. Him and George Martin, I saw them described as the Bruiser brothers, both from Leicester Tigers, now both doing it in England shirts, both young, both with a big future ahead of them. Seb Negri for Italy was very good as well. Andy Christie for Scotland was dynamic, got himself around. That's the flanker I've gone for. On the other flank, Michele Lamaro, what a player and what a leader for Italy. Like, he deserves to have had a good old night out in Rome. On Saturday night after that famous victory, and in no small part due to the leadership and just unreal work rate of Michele Lamaro, a proper talisman for the Azzurri. So fair play, and no question about the number 8. There were some other good number 8 performances. Jack Dempsey was very good. Vincent for Italy was decent as well. But Ben Earl was... I mean, it's unbelievable. How did Eddie Jones ignore him for so long? He's been tearing it up in the Premiership. And do you know the player who he reminds me of? Quagga Smith. Like for Ben Earl, for his club, has been an open side flanker for the most part. And so he's sort of small, squat, really powerful. Just energy and dynamism and explosive power. Just very similar to Quagga Smith in the way they play. I absolutely love Ben Earl. Into the back line then, Nolan Legar, just pipping Alex Mitchell for me. Alex Mitchell just picked up the tempo for England, massive part of the performance. I mean, Jameson Gibson Park, head and shoulders the Ireland's best scrum half, and he was ended up having to be stuck on the wing. Real shame for him, and you never know what may have been had he been able to stay in his position at scrum half. Nolan Legar, I mean, I'm not just giving him the plaudits for that ridiculous pass out the back, but that was outrageous skill levels. This is the backup to Antoine Dupont, isn't it? 21 years of age, massive future ahead of him. France have got another ace playmaking, Petit General. Thank you very much. Fly half and Paolo Garbisi, great day for him. Started with a big smile on his face when the ball fell off the tee again, just as it did when he couldn't score the winning points a fortnight ago. This time he slotted it, and that was how the game went on. He was in control, he was on it, he was relaxed, and he was just dictating the play and brought the victory home for Italy. Other contenders for this one? Well, I didn't think there was another standout fly half performance, really. There was decent performance from Jack Crowley, decent from Finn Russell, decent from George Ford, decent from Smith off the bench in the time that he had. I thought Garbisi was the standout fly half. Into the centres then, and it's another Italian, Tomaso Manello. What a talent. What a talent. In terms of young players in world rugby, he's right up there. Big, physical, good hands. Anyone who ran down his channel from Scotland got ended. He is a specimen, and he was on the wing a fortnight ago. The appearance, Louis Liner being available means that Manello can step inside and form a brilliant centre partnership with Juan Ignacio Brex, Nacho Brex, man of the match in the game in Rome. Again, just the solidity in that pair, isn't there? The two of them are tough players, and just a really nice partnership. Brex got the wheels on the outside break, but as much as anything, anyone comes near him, him and Manello are like Gandalf, you shall not pass. So I really enjoyed the performance from Brex. I thought Gael Fickou was good for France. I actually thought Henry Slade was really good and disrupted Ireland a lot. Key in the blitz defence, and he was a good link man. So some good performances in this position. Brex, the pick of them. Into the wings then. James Lowe, booming left foot was important again for Ireland. Great finishing. And other contenders for the 11 jersey. You had Monty Ioane, I thought was really good for Italy. But James Lowe is an absolute class operator, even in defeat. He was great. Damien Penaud on the other wing. Back to the Penaud that we know. He's been quiet this Six Nations, but he is one of the best wingers in the world. I would say the best winger in the world. Hey, in the comments if you disagree, get stuck in down below. He is absolutely world class. So strong, so fast. And with the space and time that he got, because France opened their game up a little bit, he was absolutely awesome. Just busting holes left, right and centre. Kyle Steyn for Scotland was good. Emmanuel Faye-Waboso, really positive first start for him. And to full-back, well, I've gone for George Fairbank. It was the first minute of the game. Big booming James Lowe left foot boot. George Fairbank caught the ball, and every other England team in the last 3 years would have put an upper and under in or tried to kick tactically. George Fairbank set off on a run diagonally to link up with Tommy Freeman, who set the ball into contact. Fairbank popped up as another pair of hands in a blindside move, which put Ollie Lawrence in for that first try. And the dynamic of this England team has completely shifted, in no small part due to wing commander Fairbank. Amazing moustache and a really good performance. Not perfect, but by a long stretch. And Ange Capuozzo, I'd say, would be close to getting the 15 jersey. What a brave fella he is, and a really good attacking player for Italy. But for me, George Fairbank, up against Ireland with the onslaught that they bring, I thought it was a really positive performance and vindicated whatever it was Steve Borthwick saw in him to drop what seemed like, in the undroppable Freddie Stewart for a lot of people. You understand what's going on now, and it just signifies the different England approach to how they play rugby. This guy loves to play. Got a good pair of hands, good feet, speed. Like it. Very positive indeed. So that is the 15 that I've picked. If I just get myself out of the way so you can see it. 5 Englishmen, 4 Italians, 3 Frenchmen, 2 Irishmen, a Scotsman, sorry Wales, no Welshman. Rio Dyer would be the closest to being in there on the wing. He was very good. And Daft Jenkins, at blindside flanker, was it in with a shout? I thought he just put himself about. Massive tackle count from the skipper. Thomas Williams was decent as well at scrum half. But yeah, sorry Wales, no representatives. And I think there you go. Italy, England. England with the most, Italy with the second most, France with the third most. That kind of tells you the picture of the weekend. And as we move on to the players of the week overall, the top 3 players as I've selected them are at number 3, George Martin. Just a defensive animal. Juan Ignacio Brex, so influential in a famous win for Italy. And the player of the weekend, Ben Earl. No question in my mind. He was as close as any player got to a 10 out of 10. I'd probably say he was 9.5 out of 10. Just all action, both sides of the ball. Love that man. That is my team of the week. That is my top 3 players. Tell me what you think down below. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. More Six Nations and just general rugby content coming your way. And I'll see you on the next one.